afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome to the Armoury. Welcome to Arsenal News. We've got two wonderful guests with me today. We've got Brenny and we've got James. How are you, James?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Brenny, how's my pod, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. Still a little tired. Even though I was only in Cardiff for about 3 nights, but yeah, it was good though. It was good. Got back last night, and yeah, just getting back into it for work tomorrow. Well, all
Yeah,
good.
awesome. Big up to Tony, loving it up in Spain. Hope you're doing well, Tony. Moss,
Yes,
I'm
Tony.
not even going to try and do that. Big up to Ollie. Hope you're doing well. Luke already asked the question: are you guys planning on a regular Arsenal news show during the summer? Yes, we are. That is why I've got an intro for it and done a thumbnail for it. We are going to be doing Arsenal news throughout the summer. Probably more shows transfer based as well, but news when it comes in. We'll try
And a
and
quiz as well, Luke. Yeah. Hopefully a quiz as well. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That'd be good.
I've got an Arsenal quiz book here as well. So yeah,
I'm up for it.
we could definitely do some quizzes. Right. Well, we've got 11 stories to do now. There was a breaking one about an hour ago, so I have managed to put that in the stream as well. The first one we're going to talk about is Saka signing new contract. The news broke earlier today, but we've known for months that Saka has signed it. We're just waiting for him to the official photos in front of the nice Arsenal crest. We all know it's done. The promo's done. We're just waiting for the announcement. James, you happy about this news?
Yeah. I mean, I was considering it pretty much a guarantee before, because he's an Arsenal lad. I mean, for me, he's the best right winger in the world. I don't think anyone comes close. Maybe Salah now he's regained his form, but for me this season, he's been the best right winger on the planet, and he's 21. So to have him for 5 more seasons, and I'm sure Brenny can agree, is going to be a fun time, and not not for our opponents, but for us it will be.
Yeah, Brenny, you happy?
Yeah, just echoing what James has said there. I'm very happy. You know, he's just like I said. He's a Highland lad. He loves the club, and I always think over the years, don't you just love it when one of your own signs a long term deal? It's been that's something that we've always loved. It's been ingrained into our heads as well from when we were kids. You know,
Yeah.
when we had the youngsters that we had, and this is just the same feeling as other ones. Like when Jack Wilshere signed, obviously we didn't know about with regards to him with his injuries. When he signed, I was happy, and I felt when it's like when Rocastle and like Sir Michael Thomas, Martin Hayes, when they signed deals, and I was happy about that because So yeah, it's that same kind of feeling. Oh, Ray Parlour as well got mentioned because I've always been a big fan of Ray Parlour.
Yeah,
And
Ray used to go to the pier, but where I used to live, and
yeah,
he never wanted a big song and dance about it. He just turned up with his kids, got on with it, and I love that about
yeah,
Ray. And
yeah,
I really do. Absolute
yeah,
true gent.
strikes me as that person.
Yeah,
I've loved watching him play as well. But you
yeah,
know what, for Saka, I mean, for me, this has been his best ever season. He keeps improving every year. You
yeah,
know, and if you notice, like this season, if you were to watch highlights of him this season, he's got more bags of tricks
yeah,
than he had in previous seasons. You know, and now it's just a case of we know that he'll do a lot more. He'll
yeah,
improve his game,
yeah,
month after month, year after year. And but now it's just a case of, I think with him at the moment, it's all about dealing with two players at once now, because it's just doubling up on him, doubling
yeah.
up on him, doubling up on
Exactly.
him. So,
Yeah,
but no, so pleased that he has signed,
yeah.
the contract, and yeah, it's look forward to seeing him in an Arsenal shirt for many years.
I highly recommend looking forward to seeing the promo. It's very good for Saka.
Yeah,
All I would say is about the money. Ignore the money. He's gonna he deserves to be one of the highest paid players at Arsenal. Simple as. Martinelli is now on 180, so Saka's going to be over 200.
Money is only an issue when the player is underperforming.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Salah at the start of the season was like, oh my god, this guy's on 350k a week. Now that he's performing, who's mentioning his salary? Nobody. So as long as he keeps doing what he's doing, nobody's going to give a crap to how much he's on.
Yeah, for me, Saka was never going to leave. I think I told you guys that months ago it was all sorted. It's just a case of, I think it will be announced between the Forest and Wolves game. If I'm honest, that's when I think the week it'll be announced. But yeah, we'll move on to the next one. Ramsdale signings a new contract as well. That was broken today, wasn't it, James? Was it Ornstein?
Yeah, yesterday. By James Ollie of ESPN, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. But yeah, again, it should improve contract. He truly deserves it as a good season once again. He is very important for the way that we play as well. Brenny, we'll start with you first. Happy about Rambo staying?
Yeah, definitely. And for him as well, he's having a great season.
Yeah,
I even thought last season he had a great season. I thought last season he was our best player.
Yeah,
and but you know what, but Newcastle, he looked like his old self again. Yeah. I know he's had a wobble, but then every player, every keeper goes through it. But he looked like himself last couple of games. I thought, yeah, he's back now, and he's he's important to us for now and the future. But what I'd also like as well is that it'd be nice if we could also get a keeper in. I'm not saying get a number one, but get someone that could challenge him, because that it would improve himself immensely as well, because he want to keep his place.
Yeah, I agree with that. We discussed this a few weeks back when we did the keep, sell, or loan show. That's for me, Turner's a very good goalkeeper, but he doesn't suit our style of play, and that's my only problem with him. He just doesn't suit it, so he's not really challenging Ramsdale at all for me. James, happy about Ramsdale?
Yeah, man. I mean, he's one of my favorite players. Obviously, you guys, I've grown my hair out now, so I look less like Ramsdale, thank God. But I'm just excited. He's only 24, compared to what Brenny said last season. He had a phenomenal season, and this season he's improved on that. So I mean, if he continues with progression, we've got one hell of a keeper. I feel like he's improved immensely on his shot stopping.
Yeah.
And his ability to come out and one-on-ones. I feel like that's definitely improved compared to last season. So yeah, just if we can, we tied him down now, I think for 5 more years, I believe.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he's like at 27 and 28, and I feel like we'll have England's number one by then. So yeah, big up to Ramsdale.
Yeah, exactly. We'll move on to. I'm going to pick some interesting ones into this. So there were going to be some ones that surprise you. I had to announce that Leo Walty has signed a new contract at Arsenal. Very important player for the women's. Swiss international, had an outstanding season for us. I know you might struggle with this one. James, you happy about Walty signing a new deal with the Arsenal women's?
I mean, yeah, if you're happy, I'm happy. Again, it's something I need to watch more on. The only times I'll be honest, the only times I've watched the women's mainly is if it's an intense Premier League clash that they got, or Champions League. But it's something I'm going to try and watch more of, because they are a good team from when I've watched them.
Yeah, Brenny.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I've seen. Well, I was watching the managed. Can you believe I watched the second half of the Brighton game on Wednesday, because I was just coming back home, and I missed all the goals. So, but yeah, it is good, because for me, whenever I do watch the Arsenal women, I'm always impressed with all 11 on the pitch.
Yeah.
With the commitment they show. I just think it is great that she has signed a new contract. We can still attract the top women as well,
exactly,
around the world. You know what I mean? Even though when you consider you've got the likes of Chelsea, Man City, even United now. So yeah, no, I mean, no, it's good news, and you know what I mean.
I'm happy, Bunny. You know I love the WSL. Right, we're going to get onto some talking points now. Reiss Nelson performs a U-turn on New Deal. Now, as far as I was told, Reiss was not signing anymore. It looks like he might be leaving. Brenny, how do you feel about Reiss possibly leaving? He still might sign it, but right now he's further away from signing than he was.
Okay. So if Reiss signs a new deal, I'll be pleased because he's shown more this season than I have seen in any other season at the club.
Yeah.
And he's matured as a player. But at this moment in time, I always feel like, he, as an impact sub, he's on another level.
Yeah.
If he doesn't sign a new deal and he moves on, I'm not gonna, feel a way about it, because at the end of the day, if he wants to play first team football, I wish him luck wherever he goes.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. So I'm not gonna be sad or upset if he left the club. But I would be happy if he was to sign any deal.
Yeah, exactly. James, what about you on this one?
I'm not fussed either way, to be honest. I don't want to. I'm trying to be nice. Like, I like Reiss Nelson. Don't get me wrong, and he's performed this season, but for me, he doesn't have a place in the team. The only reason I'd sign him is if we can sell him on for money. The same principle for me was with when we signed Eddie to a contract extension.
Yeah.
I felt Eddie could do a job, but it was more about protecting the value. Look, if we re-sign Reiss Nelson, you're probably looking at 10 to 15 million quid.
Yeah.
Maybe. So if he leaves for free and goes to Brighton, then I'm not going to be asked, because, for me, he plays best off the left and we have a lot of competition there. So if he signs, great. If he doesn't, he doesn't. So
just a thought that's gone in my head. Obviously, Saha's leaving Palace, as we all know. So Nelson to Palace, would that work for you?
Is Zaha leaving though?
Yeah, he's leaving. Yeah, he's leaving.
Because they've offered him a lot of money, haven't they?
For me, he's leaving, mate. I can't see him staying.
I see him more going Brighton, to be honest.
You reckon Brighton? What about you, Brenny? Where do you see Reiss going?
I'd say like a Brighton, or I wouldn't say West Ham, because there's no way he's going to take the place of Jared Bowen, even beside Benrahma, for example. I would, yeah, I'll go with what James said. I'd say, it could be a Brighton, or I mean, would he want to play say, potentially in the Championship? Because it'd be a case of maybe he'd do well at Forest. Maybe he could do well at Forest or Bournemouth as well.
Yeah.
Reason why I say that is because I'm not. When I look at Nottingham Forest, I see someone like Brennan Johnson, who I'm a fan of, and I don't see Brennan Johnson staying at Forest.
Nope.
Right. So regardless whether so regardless whether they stay up or not,
yeah,
I can see him being a regular at Nottingham Forest. You know what I mean? Or even if he went to Brentford, I could see him doing bits at Brentford.
Yeah.
So
Brentford's a really good shout, actually. Yeah, Brentford's a good shout. But with Brennan Johnson, I can't see him staying. But if Matoma was to leave Brighton, then there's an open slot there for Reiss as well. Because to be fair, he's a very good impact sub for us, as Brenny has said many times with his chosen lineups. But it would be different at a different club. He wouldn't just be an impact signing. He'd fit into the system, because he doesn't fit our system, I don't think, personally. But yeah, I'm going to go into what Luke's saying here. He's 23 now. I completely understand him wanting to play more elsewhere. Regarding the WSL, Pelova has been brilliant for us. She has been a very good signing. We signed her back in January. Big up to Marseille, maybe Italia or Eredivisie, possible. Big up to Bargav. Burnley coming up. Yes, that's another good shout, Burnley. They are coming up. But to be honest, I would sell a lot of our players to Burnley. I know that's the team I keep choosing for Lokonga and Patino and stuff like that. But yeah, I could see Reece going to Burnley. I think it's more to do with the fact that I think Vincent Kompany is the coach to watch out for the next few years, because I think he's going to be amazing.
I'd say that, and Michael Carrick as well.
Yes, yeah. Well, I was still
might still come up, money. They're in the playoffs now, I think.
Yeah, they're in the playoffs. So obviously, as FTSN Bobby, I will be doing the playoff finals. So, but yeah, I was still shocked that Michael Carrick just lost his job totally at United. I thought he did a brilliant job there, personally. Forest going to survive. I called it many times. From the show that I did the other day, it's looking like Forest are probably safe now. But yes, we wanted Danilo. I still want Danilo, if I'm honest. Let's move on to the next story. This one will surprise a few. Odegaard negotiations in the summer on new deal. That is what Arsenal are planning. We're going to start talking up to him because I think he's only going to have 2 years left. But obviously, the improved deal is required for Martin Odegaard. I'm not even going to ask Moss what he thinks about this. Brenny, are you going to be happy when we start negotiating with Martin in the summer?
Yeah, definitely. And one of the reasons for that is it's because it's not just the fact that he's quality; it's because of his age as well.
Yeah,
to tie him down to a long-term deal, that'd be great. You know what I mean? If it was a case of he was like 20. Not 28 to 30 years old, I think, okay, if you're going to give him a deal, just give him maybe like a 2 year. But yeah long-term deal, I'd sign all day long. You can see clearly he loves the club.
Yeah, he does.
He keeps improving all the time. And from what Canna said the other day as well, looking at that, he has been our best player right now at this moment in time.
100%. James, happy about when we start negotiations with Martin?
Yeah, when we do, it's long overdue. I think he's deserved it. I mean, since he's come in, even on the start alone, he showed his talent, and now he's just asserting himself. And I hope he can continue controlling games like he has been in the past 3 or 4. Because we've seen it with him. When he turns it on, there's not many better midfielders in the world football.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
Can he do it consistently over the periods of when we need him most? Because that's what separates him from the very best. And when I say the very best, I think his ceiling, maybe not what he's going to achieve in his career, but his ceiling as a player is either as high or just below Kevin De Bruyne. That's who I liken him to. So that's what I expect from him next season. But yeah, I mean, you're getting 15 non-penalty goals this season, maybe even breaks it, as Chris says in the comments. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Big up to Citizen K. Evening, fellas. I agree. Can't begrudge the recent move. He's done well this season, but it might just be his time. Operation Clear Out Arsenal this summer. Yes, it is definitely Operation. We will be back loads with more and more news as we get it. Obviously, we're getting to the end of the season. Some news is starting to break a little bit now, so we felt that it was the right time to start doing this. Odegaard.
Citizen K there. Big him up.
Odegaard shockingly said must keep Odegaard. That doesn't surprise me, must. Next goal, he breaks EPL record for mid goal scorer in season. And the disrespect from our fan base has made me feel so defensive and have to glorify him because our fan base can be ridiculous. Yes, I know which part you're on about of our fan base. Yes, something to do with Gibraltar. I know what you're on about. Keep up Odegaard, his captain. He's not my captain. But yeah, operations separate the wheat from the chaff and continue the movement in the future as we're moving in the right direction with the script. Slowly but surely. This summer will be quite a big one for Arsenal. I do believe that we're spending a lot of money and we'll be getting a lot out as well. Reece has looked good summing in, yeah, but that's the thing. Do we really want to keep? We want to improve on a winger. Right, let's move on to the next story. Obviously, this broke within the last 3 hours that Zinchenko and Saliba are both out for the rest of the season. Zinchenko picked up a problem against Newcastle. Saliba has been having an issue for a while with his lower back, and it's now been announced that they are definitely out for the rest of the season. So I guarantee everyone that has put their team lineups for tomorrow will now have to send me new ones. Brenny, how are you feeling about? Obviously, Saliba was not much of a shot, but Zinchenko. Do you think that's much of a loss for the last 3 games, or do you think Tierney will be fine?
It is, but I just find, even though he hasn't, for me personally, he hasn't been at his best recently.
Yeah,
you don't want to see any of our lads, any of our guys get injured at all. And furthermore, even though we have 3 games left, is Kieran Tierney going to be fit to play all 3 games?
Yeah.
Now, why? I touch wood, I hope so, but we know when it comes to himself and injuries, that's what concerns me. Because now, because of that, Tierney will start now against Brighton, and if we see him going down, I'm going to be like, oh dear.
No, I wouldn't be that concerned actually, because James has come up with a couple of ideas. I've got Lino Sousa that I'd happily put in there. So I still, do you know what I mean? I get where you're coming from, but I think like James has talked about Kivior.
I was just about to say, that's right. He can play left back, can't he? So, but yeah, no, I think we'll be all right. 3 games, we'll be okay.
Yeah, James, how are you feeling about? We'll just talk about Zinchenko. So Saliba's not much of a shock.
Yeah, fine. Again, I'm not fussed. Let's be real, right? My expectations for the season we'll win the rest of our 3 games, and I think we would do that with Zinchenko, or we'd do that with Tierney. Tierney's very good. So as long as he's available and he's playing as he did, the last performance against Newcastle, because he was fantastic. That's the Kieran Tierney I want to see. And if it gives him a couple more games and we aren't going to sell him, then it will be good to see how he does, because there is a lot of capacity there. It's just for Arteta to get the best out of him.
Yeah, 100%. So Moss saying here, Cini and Saliba, being extra careful, but good to make long-term signings maybe. No, I haven't asked everybody about the lineups yet. People have just been sending them to me because they know that they're due in. So people just send them to me. But I will be asking tomorrow, so don't worry, Moss, you've got time. Katie has been fit all season. Cini been injured lots. Has Katie been fit all season? I'm pretty sure he took a.
I don't think if he has been injured, I don't think it was major. I just feel like this indication of injuries. I'm not really counting Saliba in this. Just proves that defenders we need to sign this summer need to be ready and available, because we're piling up injuries now that seem to be recurring. Zinchenko's been off. Tommy's been off. Kieran Tierney doesn't have a good injury record, so that's like 3 out of the 7 defenders that we have now that are almost like 40% that are unreliable. So we need to just keep an eye on that, I think.
Okay. Katie, show us now, and if anything, make your transfer go larger. But I keep saying unless 70 million comes in, I reckon about 40 million, and we'll get a deal. Gabriel's good to go. You guys, not heard anything about Gabriel. He's absolutely fine. Tierney will be fine. He may not offer what Cini does, but he'll most definitely shore up the defence, but will lack Cini's attacking influence. Yeah, true. Maybe Katie stays as we evolve. We might not play the inverted left back system next season. I believe we will be, just slightly different in my eyes.
I think I agree. I think it's more about how we get the qualitative advantage in midfield. So I don't know.
Yes.
Winger coming in, centre back stepping up, inverted fullback. Like, we just got to have options, and Zinni's going to be one of them.
Yeah. See, Chris, sorry, Moss, I do apologise for calling you your first name, but Moss, I knew you have a great memory. I had a feeling he was out at least once this season. It was after the Scottish match. Yeah. Spot on. I knew he was. Right. We're going to talk about this. I know some information. So Granit Xhaka being talked about of going this summer to Leverkusen. James, we'll start with you before I say anything on this. What do you reckon?
No, we can't. We can't let him go. I'll be frank. We can't. Like this, you see the disparity between our team compared to City, right? And you've seen how pivotal Granit Xhaka has been this season for us, right? And I know people aren't his biggest fans, and I know people want to upgrade on him and this and that, right? But to move on, one of the most available midfielders that you've got who has performed at his highest level probably in his entire career right now feels like too risky for me. I want him to stay at least one more season so we can bridge the midfielders we're obviously going to get in this summer. So it's not just, look, we get rid of Xhaka and then we have a new guy coming in and we don't know how he's going to be. So that's why I want him to stay for it. Even if it is one more season. If it's one more season and he bows out, fair enough. But I feel like this season is one season too early.
Okay. Before I say anything, Brenny?
If he does leave, we'll have to bring some quality in to place me. I mean, wouldn't just sell him, and then and then we're bidding we're in a bidding war with a player or two to replace him. Get the replacements in first if you are going to let him go. That'd be the best thing. I think he has had his best season at Arsenal, but
yes.
Definitely. But if he stays, I'll be happy if he stays. If he doesn't, I'm not gonna sulk about it. At the end of the day, as long as we get the quality in, we know about the players that we're looking at.
Yeah,
that can come in, and we know that they could do a job, and they're young as well. So yeah, either way, I'm either way. If he goes, he goes. If he doesn't, it's fine.
Okay, now I'll tell you what I know. He will not be leaving this summer. He will possibly be leaving the following summer on a free. Now, are you going to be guys happy with that and not getting a fee for Granit Xhaka, just letting him go out for free?
I don't mind, genuinely. If you if you're quoting the fees that we're looking to get, I don't know, buy Leverkusen because the rumored team that are the most interested in him. Right now, right? They're going to pay 15 million quid for him. I would rather not get the 15 million pounds and have him for one more season because I feel like his influence for one more season is worth more than the fee we would get this summer. So if it means he leaves for free and he walks on, then I'm fine.
Okay, fair enough. Absolutely fine. I've been saying sign 2 to 3 mids finally and sell Xhaka January. I say it boasts of both worlds. I mean, we'll get lots. That's a possibility. I can't say that's not a possibility, but also he can agree a free deal with Leverkusen at the end of January anyway on a Bosman. So
because I think we have a +1, do we?
We do, but I don't think I don't think we're going to activate it. I'll be surprised if we did. I think there will be an agreement between Granite and Arsenal just to not activate it. Just let me go. I'll play for this full-on season. Let me go. Which is, I think he after this one season, he's definitely earned that for me. So yeah, that way you get some good Champions League matches, and we get to transition gradually to new centre mids. This summer is the last. Yes, I do agree with that. However, it is what it is. We're never going to get a big fee for Granite anyway. Surely, guys, we finally bring in multiple centre mids. Guaranteed, I think 2. Hopefully, maybe another one. We'll see. Xhaka can go. It will be a squad player. Rice and Caicedo, Xhaka and Partey to be benched. Wow. Okay. I agree, James, but we also need to start selling, actually making some dollars. There will be some dollars coming in, I promise.
We have a lot of players that we can sell. And when I say a lot, if we're selling every single person that we want to sell, you're probably talking 150 million quid if we can do it right.
Exactly. Let him go for free. We just don't like accepting cash, do we? We will be getting some cash this summer. I promise. There will be money coming in. It will be spent very quickly, but there will be money coming in. We have an option, Bobby. We can work this out and still make some. I don't think we'd do that to Granit, to be honest. He'll want to go back to Germany, and why tie Leverkusen's hands? They don't have lots of money. Let's be honest. Right, let's move on to the next story. James is going to enjoy this one. West Ham set 120 million price tag for Declan Rice. Brenny, 120 million for a bag of rice. You happy about that?
Yeah, of course. I would. Even if it's Uncle Ben's, or even Tilda rice, I'll take it. All day long. Now, the reason why I would is because I look at thinking, I'm sure we have the money for it.
Yeah.
Secondly, you'll get your money's worth with a Premier League proven player. You know, captain of his club. You know, he leads by example.
Yeah.
I thought he's been brilliant this season for when I've seen West Ham on the box. I thought he played well against us. He was so hungry. I thought that 2-2, right? I thought, my word, he's really gone for his job interview, isn't he? You know what I mean? And he's taken it. You know what I mean? You know, he's taken it. You know, I'm sure Edu said to him in the game, "You're hired," but you know what I mean. So I would say yeah. I mean, I know, yeah, it's a lot of money, but then I look at his age. I look at what you're going to get. Say, for example, if you know, a 5-year deal, for example. So you know what you're going to get with him. So yeah, I'd spend the money.
Yeah, James. I know you've been very keen to talk about this one, so go ahead.
No, I'd pay 150 million for him. 120 million isn't.
Please do not negotiate for Arsenal.
Why? No, genuinely, look, I've been. People were starting to come around to it. The same thing happened with Gabriel Jesus when I mentioned him before we were even negotiating with him. Look, at the time I said we should get Gabriel Jesus, everyone was saying, no, we shouldn't get him. He's injury prone. He doesn't score enough. He doesn't play enough. As soon as we get him, our level's raised, right? I've been wanting Declan Rice for the best part of 2 years. You could historically go back on this channel a year and a half ago and watch videos and streams of me going, yeah, just drop 100 million on Declan Rice and he'll transform our team. Now everyone sees the ability that he has, right? For me, Declan Rice is a generational midfielder. I rate him that highly. I feel like he's going to define an era. And as Charles Watts said on one of his YouTube videos, that if we sign Declan Rice, it will send a similar message as to when we signed Sol Campbell. Genuinely, it will be unbelievable. It would change the trajectory of our team for the next 5 to 10 years. And I say that with confidence. About the fee, it depends on how you look at things. Yeah. If you're looking at the fee on Mudryk, I was high on Mudryk, but I could understand why we pulled out of the deal because the fee was for the player that you're looking at. You know, there's certain categories you can look at that really define a player. Are they top 3 in their position in world football? You can say based on form. You can based on historical evidence. For me, Declan Rice this season has been a top 3 defensive midfielder in Europe. I rate him that highly. Who are you going to say? Rodri, number 1. Then who? Maybe Casemiro. I would say Rice has been better. Thomas Partey, I think Rice has been better. You know, like Tchouaméni, he hasn't been playing. Like, genuinely, I think he's unbelievable. How long are we going to have him for? As Brenny said, how his age? He's 24, right? He's turning 25 this year, or no, turning 25 next March, I believe. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's when his birthday was when I did my report on him. And there's just so many factors that go into it that, you know, just make sense for this deal. And look, people are saying Caicedo, and I know we're going to talk about Caicedo later, or Rice. If we don't get Rice, it will be the biggest mistake this football club makes. Genuinely, he's that good.
Yeah,
fair enough.
100%.
What I will say for people that are slightly older than James, the transfer, you can compare it to when we signed Dennis Bergkamp. You remember that, Brenny? When we signed, it shook the English world, didn't it? Really, when we signed.
Remember it. Jeez.
Yeah.
Quick 10 second story. Once upon a time, I came home from work. I turned on to CFAX and I saw Dennis Bergkamp signs for us. I was like, what?
It was a shock.
7.5. I couldn't believe it. I absolutely couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Just to put a little bit of older age for people that don't remember it. It was a shock back then for Arsenal.
It was big
time. Dennis Bergkamp. Big up to DWTT. Hope you're doing well. He wants to play Champions League with the Arsenal granite his goal. Doubt will get both of them due to the price. Subamendi would be cheaper option, but Rice or Caicedo, one of them at least. I do like Subamendi. Everyone knows.
I'd love to get both.
Yeah,
both Rice and Caicedo.
I'll be honest. I'd have all three. I'd have Rice, Caicedo, and Supermendi if I'm being greedy, but that's just me. No way, 120. Look, there's always wiggle room. There's always negotiations. They will accept a player as part of the deal as well. So we have got wiggle room there. James went to some negotiation. yeah. They want 120, but James will give them 150.
If Rice had a release clause, he'd be an Arsenal player already.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Cool, Rocky. I'd offer 80 million Lukonga. Okay, how much do you think Lukonga's worth? My word. Right, okay. Yeah, I don't think they'll accept that, to be honest. I wouldn't. I like you, SMS. Supermendi. Yeah, oh, crikey, he's going for all these players now, isn't he? I don't believe in Prem Proven. We're definitely not saying that on this stream whatsoever. There are good players in Europe, don't get me wrong, Moss. But at the moment, the ones we're mainly linked with is Caicedo and Rice, and that's what we're talking about. If it was Supermendi and Thuram, we'd be talking about those two. But right now, it's Rice and Caicedo. So that's why we're talking about that right now. Sambi, how much are you putting down as Sambi's worth? Sambi and 75 million. Oh, right, okay. Ultimately, I'll be happy no matter what the fee if we sign Rice. I am with James on how highly he rates him. I love the kid. I think he's brilliant. And that's not just me having half West Ham in my family. I love the kid. I think he's absolutely brilliant. SMS, Caicedo, Lavia, and Paulino for the price of Rice. I don't think you'll be able to side Paulino for that kind of price now. Lavia is about 40 to 50, I think. That might go down if they go down. It might do. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it would.
I honestly, if I could sign Lavia as well as Rice and Caicedo, I'd be happy with that. If I could sneak that in. Supermendi much less. Lavia has nice feet and Cifuentes of my LAFC. Bergkamp signing. I was in heaven. Yeah, I remember that. That's why he's the only Arsenal player I've actually got on my shirt. Is Bergkamp. No, 100 million for Rice is excessive. 80 million max for him, but in an overinflated. Yeah, exactly. This is the problem. Certain signings haven't helped the situation. You can look into that however you want to, but certain signings definitely have not helped the Rice situation. Not saying a word. I'm not saying a word. I used to check CFAX every morning and night. Yeah, it was good old days, wasn't it? Yep. What was that game? Bamboozle as well. Bamboozle used to be on. Is that what it's called? Brenny, do you remember? Bamboozle. You used to have a game that was on there. It was like a quiz show. I think it was called Bamboozle.
Oh yes, yeah. I was never into it though, but yeah, what are you talking about?
Luke values Lukonga at 20 million. Okay. Okay, I don't think he's worth that. Well, reports Barthas saying Zubimendi wants Arsenal. Okay, I'm gonna sort this little myth out. It's not that case. Barca cannot sign Zubimendi. They want Messi, and the only way they can get Messi is if they sell and then get Messi. I can't see him signing anyone else, if I'm honest. So either Zubimendi looks for another team other than Barcelona. Which is probably what his agent's trying to do because they know we need centre midfielders. I would love Supermendi, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I can't see it. Yeah, 75 plus 15 to 20 for Sam. Okay, let's move on to Caicedo. Is there a release clause in Moses Caicedo's contract? No, there is no stupid contract clause at all whatsoever. It's absolute rubbish. Brenny, how much would you happily pay for Caicedo this summer if Arsenal wanted him?
We'd be about, say, 80 mil?
Fair dude.
They'd probably ask for more if they were to get European football. I'd say between 80 and 100 mil, to be honest.
Yeah.
And we could have probably got maybe a cheaper deal in January, but since he already signed a new deal, so yeah.
Would you be happy?
I would. Yeah, I would be. I mean, but then again, it's you know what it's all about, really, because at the end of the day, we're not accountants, right? And if the board, if they have that money, if they have the money, I don't know about, if we have this war chest or wherever it is, if we have the money, spend it. Because I know, like Declan Rice, you sign Caicedo on a 5-year deal, and you'll get your money's worth out of him over the course of them years, and he'll put in the performances just like I believe Declan Rice will.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it.
Fair enough, James.
Yeah, I'm high on Caicedo. I hadn't watched him much. I wasn't paying as much attention to Caicedo as everyone else seemed to be. That's why I was asking so many questions about him in our WhatsApp group. But I've watched him extensively, even to the point of when I asked if he had played fullback, and he hadn't. And then the next game, he's ended up playing right back. So I must have seen some in order to tell me that he could play fullback, right?
Yeah, against Man U, wasn't it, James? Against Man U, he was playing right back.
Playing right back.
Yeah.
It was really weird. I'm like, literally 3 or 4 days before, I'm like, has he played like fullback before? No, I don't. Nobody responded, I don't think. But yeah. Look, as Citizen K has said, he's very, very versatile. Plays CDM for Brighton, incredibly high level. Has played as an 8 for Ecuador, both U20 and at the World Cup. Done at a very high level, and as I suspected, can be deployed as a fullback to a very good level. Look, he struggled a bit against Rashford, but for his first time playing there, I don't think he did that bad, right? So I'm not as high on Caicedo as I am on Declan Rice. I'll be honest. I feel like there are players available that you could get. Maybe he's not output as Caicedo, but other options, as I said, Kefren Turam, I've been hot on since the start of the season. If we can't get Caicedo, I take him in a heartbeat. But I feel like now this is our opportunity to strike. Who knows if we're going to be in this position next year? Like, I think we will, but you can't really speak on, what the future is going to be. So I just hope this is going to be our Liverpool window, in the sense of we're getting rid of our Mignoles and we're signing our Van Dijks and Alissons, because we have some interesting players that we need to get rid of, and we need to really, really improve the squad. So getting him and Rice would be phenomenal.
Yeah, well, there is definitely a gentleman's agreement between Caicedo and Tony Bloom that if a Champions League club come in for him, then there is an agreement of a fee, and it is less than was being talked about in January, weirdly, so he can leave. So big up to Brighton. They obviously just want to push on to Europe. I think they're still technically able to just about qualify for Champions League, but it will take one mammoth task and a lot of bottling from United for that to happen. Not saying that's not possible, but it'll be surprising. Want to quickly get into the comments before we get on to the final 2 pieces of news. If Harry Maguire is worth, yeah, I can see where you're going with that, Paxton. I don't want to be dissing United on this channel because I have respect for you, Paxton, yourself. So yeah, Zubimendi and Rafinha back on. Rafinha for me probably will be leaving Barcelona this summer, I would have thought, because Barcelona have got a lot to sort out, especially to get Messi in. Caicedo I like because of his versatility. He can play in so many positions, his playability, and of course his 100% he is the future. 80 million is probably 40 too much for Caicedo, but that's the consequence of an inflated market by Bodie Ball. Yes, that man has not helped this world. Ecuador, he the man. I did James, but I just said he can play anywhere. Man of a certain age can never forget the Bergkamp signing. Wow, what a shocker that was, and joy to behold. The rest is history, 100%. He did a good job. Yeah.
So I have a question, right? What was the Bergkamp signing like what I felt when we signed Mesut Ozil, or was it another level?
For me, another level.
Another level. Because
Arsenal was signing big players anyway, weren't they, Brenny? But Bergkamp at that time, we were signing nobody big.
Yeah, and you know what? And I'll tell you what. James, it was a big lift because when we signed Bergkamp, the season before, 94-95 season, it was an awful season, even though we got to the European Cup Winners' Cup final and lost that. I don't want to discuss the final, but when Bruce Rioch came in, as far as I know, it was always going to be a stopgap because Arsenal wanted Arsene Wenger, but he honoured his contract. He honoured his contract in Japan. So when Dennis Bergkamp came in, it was a huge surprise because he didn't do that as well as at Inter Milan as he could. Italian football wasn't for him, and we already knew what he did at Ajax. Phenomenal record at Ajax, and also Dutch international, and he was still playing well for the Dutch. So when we saw what was coming, we got excited because the first thing we all thinking, Bergkamp right, you know. And the fact that he took Paul Merson's number 10, and I don't think Merson didn't mind anyway, but it was exciting, and that was due to David Dein, because David Dein was a great negotiator, you know, and as you know, he's the reason why we had so many quality players come in at the time. We have players that were already at a world class level, like Bergkamp, Mark Overmars, and then obviously we have players that come in that Arsene Wenger turned them into world class players. So it was a half and half, you know what I mean? But James, it was such a good feeling. Couldn't believe it, you know. It was great. And then I think about a week or two later, David Black came up on CFAX as well. We signed
everyone
David
forgets
Black.
that one. Everyone forgets that one, don't they? Because Bergkamp
and I thought that was a good signing as well, because I thought we had three. He was with us for 3 seasons and he retired, and I thought he did well in them 3 seasons as well. So big up David Black.
Yeah, exactly. But loads of people forget about him. But he was just as big a signing as what Bergkamp was for me, because obviously he was so big in England. And Arsenal weren't really signing those type of players, were we? Really?
No.
But it definitely changed us, and it's a memory that I'll never forget. Didn't he succeed sign a new contract at Brighton? Yes, he did. That's to keep his market value. That's what a lot of clubs do now. It means nothing. Like Ferguson at Brighton, he signed a new contract, but it means nothing about him. They're not selling him. It's just to keep the value, and sometimes can actually increase the value as well because the contract's longer. So it can actually just boost a few more millions on there for her. Tony Bloom knows when the most opportune time to sell is. 100%. Much bigger, James, as you didn't see those yet. 100%. Wirtz, any good? Yes, Wirtz is someone I do keep an eye on. I can't see him staying there for very long, but I think he's more going to end up at Munich, if I'm honest. I can't see him leaving Germany. Can you, James?
I could see him go to Madrid.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
But I mean, I don't know. I haven't, since he injured himself. I know he's had a decent remontada so far this season, coming back from his serious injury. But before his injury, he was one of the best youngsters in the world. Yeah. Probably higher ceiling than Musiala before his injury. I don't know where he's at now, though.
But I love. It's absolutely fantastic. Bergkamp made it happen as he hated Inter Milan. Defense system shows us. Yep. Platt was awesome for England at the time he was. The last couple of news stories. So there are now going to be 2 extra WSL fixtures to be played at the Emirates next season. At the moment, there has only been 3, but they will be moving up to 5. So well done to the Arsenal for making sure that happens. As I've shown there, that is the attendance for the Arsenal women versus Wolfsburg. 60,063 in attendance. Absolutely amazing. It's crazy, and I love it because obviously I've watched it since like 94. So I'm very happy to see this. It gives me chills. You know, I how much I love the women's. It's why I do watch long as if I can. It's why they've got their own special countdown on here as well. They've got their own special countdown. I just love them. Absolutely love them. They just always make me smile. The Arsenal women's absolutely. And last one, and might have passed a few people by, but Brooke Norton Coffee is going to the under-20s World Cup in Argentina. It starts on the 20th of May, I believe, if I'm right. Is that right, James? 20th of May?
I think so.
Yeah, so I think technically he will be missing the playoffs, which is a little bit odd.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't know. I'd rather him probably get playoff experience than.
So would I, if I'm honest, because the playoff experience is just as hard as a proper Premier League game. It is full on 90 minutes of energy. This is why I'm doing all the playoff finals. I absolutely love the playoffs. Everyone knows this. I would have preferred him to stay, if I'm honest. But congratulations for being picked anyway. I think that's a
I mean, I'll be watching him because there's a few players that you should definitely, or a few teams that you should be keeping your eyes on. Ecuador and Uruguay are my two dark horses, especially Uruguay. So if you are watching it, there's a few of my players that I really enjoy there. So
100%. Brenny, you got anything to say about Brooke?
I get what you mean with regards to the playoffs and that, but when you look at it, I think at any level, World Cup, European Championship, Copa America, African Cup, anything at any level, any age, any level, it's you want to play. You know what I mean? So if you're selected, I don't think you'd turn it down. To be honest with you, regardless of club commitments. So, and also, he could even be thinking, well, you know what, I will keep trying, but I may not even get selected for the national side, for the full national side as well. Maybe there could be that as well, But I do get what you mean. I do get it, but I'm just thinking I'm only thinking for what he's probably thinking personally. You know what I mean? It'd be a fantastic experience for him. But good luck to him. I hope he does really well. I hope we do really well.
Well, exactly. Everyone knows I love this kid. I think he is something to watch out for. He's big, he's strong, and he's a fullback, and I love that about him. Let's quickly get into the last few comments before we wrap it up. I've really appreciated this show. It's been brilliant. Similar, but Bergie's signing was special, and he offered delivered more tthan Ozil. Yeah, Ozil one, I was like, for me, I wasn't that keen on it, to be honest. I'll be honest. I wasn't that delighted because I had a feeling what happened would happen because I heard enough about him. I wasn't that bothered by him. Moss saying here, watch out for Chile, Venezuela, Paraguay, and Cesar RG, Uruguay, Ecuador. So much amazingness. Oh, yes, and Marquinhos has also been selected as well. I do apologise about that, Marquinhos, but he's been at Norwich for a while, so I forgot about him, to be honest. But it'll be interesting for that. To go to Argentina and play an under 20 World Cup is an amazing opportunity for him. Yeah, I do get that, but this is the playoffs. Coventry have had an amazing season. I know we're talking about the championship now, but Coventry have done amazing to be in the playoffs. Absolutely incredible. Luton as well. I have to say, big up to Luton. They obviously, if they do have a slight issue, if they do get promoted, they've got to spend 10 million quid on their stadium if they do get promoted. But because I don't know if anyone remembers, Brenny, have you ever been to Luton Stadium?
No, only outside it, but never inside it.
Yeah, well, the one of the entrances literally goes underneath someone's house. There's like a little opening, and people literally walk under, and there's someone living just above, and obviously that does not fit with EPL standards, so that has to be changed somehow. Shane Curtin, I really hope not, because honestly, I will not be a happy man. I'll be honest. I didn't want to talk about it. I will talk about it if it happens for sure, because you'll just see me on a rage. It'll be just me on the screen. I'll just be screaming, because if we sell him for 2 million quid, I won't be happy. And I'm saying this because not only did we pay more than that, but he's been brilliant in the Championship for a very bad Birmingham side. So to sell him for 2 million quid to Rangers. Now, bear in mind, I am a Rangers fan, so bargain for Rangers, but no, I couldn't. No, I hope not. I really don't. BNC and any others on England, not for Arsenal. no other under 21s for us. There's a couple of Tottenham, I think. There's a few lower league teams that have got some under 21s. I have got the list. I'll have to go through it with you, Moss. Trusty the process. That won't be trusty the process, mate. That will be a James. Quick word on this: if we sold him for £2 million, how would you feel?
Why the fuck did we buy him?
There we go. And that's James being nice, because trust me, I won't be that gentle. I won't be that gentle if that happens. Yeah. I'll be furious. Up the Borough. To be honest, I don't know who I really want to come up, because part of me wants Sunderland to come up as well. Because I think they've done phenomenal. They only came up last season. They've gone straight to the playoffs. I think they've been brilliant.
It's funny. It's funny you just mentioned. Sorry, there, Bobby. I think you just mentioned Sunderland, right? Just be quick with Sunderland. It's like the only reason why I was never a Sunderland, fan or anything like that. But it was when I saw their documentary. I don't know if you saw it, Over Until I Died. That was one of the best documentaries I'd ever seen over 2 seasons. And that's when it's like I had a soft spot for them as well, So it wouldn't, and for them to come back, it would be something, because I think all those sides in the playoffs were in the Premier. Actually, Luton Town have never been in the Premier League. They were in the old First Division.
Yeah, they used to be old first. Yeah.
So it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting.
I love who's in there: Middlesbrough, Luton, Coventry, Sunderland. I think those are just brilliant. I'll be happy with whichever one, but I've just got probably a little bit more of a suspect. And I have to mention Harry Clark. Harry Clark got promotion with Ipswich. He was one of our own. Hasn't been mentioned on any other Arsenal channel, but he left Arsenal to go to Ipswich, and I think he had a little bit of a detour before he got to Ipswich. But big up to Harry Clark, because he has been instrumental at Ipswich. And I will have to say, well done to McKenna as well from Man United.
For me, it'd be Coventry.
Who knew that Man United have got fairly decent coaches that they just let go sometimes? But there we go. Yeah. This is what it is. Trusty had a nice season, handled it better than anyone thought. But that's why it's not worth £2 million. Well, Rangers could never offer that much money. So it would be the wrong signing for me. If it's a £2 million loan fee, happy days. Tyne-Wear Derby would be great to have back in the. Yeah, exactly. I would absolutely love it. Middlesbrough versus Sun would be a taste. Oh, I guarantee putting money on a red card for that final if that happens. Big up Arsenal ladies who've been smashing it domestically for decades, and the rise in the ladies' game across Europe and worldwide has grown exponentially, which is fantastic. 100% agree, Citizen K.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yes, Citizen.
That is the perfect way to end that show, because that is brilliant. James, thank you ever so much for coming on. Where can people find you?
You're welcome. You can find me on the Armoury TV or on Twitter at James at James Armoury TV. So yeah, at least I said Twitter correctly. So I got Bobby.
Freddie, where can they find you, mate?
Yeah, you can find me here on the Armoury TV. You can find me on Twitter as well. Like I've been doing throughout the season as well. I'll be sending out videos on Twitter with our fixture against Brighton, past fixtures, and even from 35 years back as well. And you can find me on Instagram.
Brilliant stuff. You'll see me back here tomorrow at 7 for the Arsenal Brighton preview. We've got G Talks. Brenny, are you available tomorrow, or are you working?
Working, unfortunately.
But we do have Keith from Arsenal Analyze joining us tomorrow, so that we'll tune in for that. That will be a very good show. And then I'll be back on Sunday on the Armoury for the Arsenal Brighton game. But Saturday, not Armoury related, but please do get excited for it. I am doing the watch along for Chesterfield versus Notts County, the National League playoffs. Now, if anyone has seen, and I did tell everyone to watch the semi-finals and the eliminations, they have been outstanding, just like I warned you. But this one's going to be a classic as well. And my St Albans on Sunday are in the final to get promoted to the National League. So big up to St Albans. They are playing Also, my other club, Oxford City, because I'm University of Oxford. But St Albans, here we go. Come on, guys. So let's hope. Moss was saying that Leverkusen, DRB, Wirtz, ready to. Oh yes, because there is some Europa games tonight. So yeah, big up to everyone. I shall see you very soon. As always, come on, the Gunners. Let's take care and see you soon. Bye bye.